I will call to order the August 22nd, 2023 SORTA board meeting. All right, good evening. Hopefully everybody's surviving this heat that's, I guess, going to be with us for a few days. I know it's not easy for everybody out there, so let's pray for their safety. We had no hearings from citizens unless somebody snuck in here at the last second. No? Okay, so we're all good there. I don't know if we wanted to update from last week. I know we had a request about the parking spot. There is a parking spot. It's in the back.
Yes, so, sorry about that. Yes, that operator does still have a parking spot. He knows he has a parking spot. That parking spot was moved so that we could have a few more handicap spaces for people that came into the office to see us. We have had conversation with the operator, yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. John, I don't know if it's in the schedule to talk about CPS at all. If we want to, obviously we started school this week, right?
Good evening. Very good week operationally regarding CPS. We've done our standard rollout plan with staff out at transit centers, major transit points, supervisory staff, other admin personnel at the high schools, particularly in the PM to facilitate some things. Really smooth sailing. So year 3 now of this new service mode, smooth sailing so far. Yeah, nothing.
We did make a few adjustments to even make it a better service, right?
We did a few things, some service adjustments. I did observe some issues with newer operators and pulling into schools for the first time, these kind of things. But the supervisory team is on site to troubleshoot in real time to clarify any of those opening day or first day of school issues.
Well, it must be better because I didn't get any calls this year after plenty of the last couple. So congratulations, everybody, and great way to start things.
We're also making some additional adjustments in December, so fewer kids will have to transfer.
Right.
So in December, there'll be some additional direct routes. Yes.
I don't know if you're looking for more detail than that, Gwen. Yes is the answer.
No, we had kind of just that to them before.
Yeah.
And, we didn't take it on.
Yeah. So let's keep taking care of the kids. That's what we're there to do. So great. And I apologize, everybody. I wasn't able to join in the 50th birthday celebrations on Tuesday. I had a day job that took me away, but I heard it was great. And we do have or don't have the video of the Blake dancing.
We have a video.
All right.
Can we enter that into the public record?
Exactly. I guess we're not showing it tonight.
I'll tell you that the event itself was awesome, and the weather was beautiful, just perfect. And the event itself brought it out of Blake. I mean, you know, when you see people really enjoying themselves and just letting it hang out, that's what Blake was doing. And I appreciate that, Blake.
It was a great event. I was feeling it. The band was incredible.
Staff did a yeoman's job. And it's just, the whole week was a lot of fun.
Yeah, great. And it's a great thing. And we're getting a lot of good feedback. And John, yes, thank you for noting the staff meeting on the 26th. But so, yeah, I've heard nothing but great things, and we should celebrate, right? A lot of great things happening. And I guess we don't share the video tonight, but it will be sent out to everybody. Okay. That's right, on a press release. So first action item is to review the minutes. You were looking at me funny. Am I doing something wrong? No, okay. Not like usual. Okay. So the minutes are in your book. Hopefully people had a chance to look at them. I would move that we approve them. Moved and seconded. Any comments on the minutes from prior meeting? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. The Finance Committee. Dan, you're...
Yes, happy to report out
All
on the
right.
Finance Committee. Ms. Taylor could not join us tonight.
I want to point out that Gwen told me that the committee meetings were very efficient and productive. She doesn't know why this week in particular.
Try not to take it personally. Craig. Yeah, so the items to report out from the Finance Committee meeting are as follows. We talked about the fuel hedging report. We discussed year-to-date expenses that were favorable to budget. The current hedge position, we stand around 88% against our policy at 90. So that's a work in progress that we've talked about over the past few months. But that's where we are in the fuel hedging discussion. Our financial reports were solid. July 2023 results overall, we remain strong for the 7th consecutive month. Fixed route revenue fare remains favorable to budget. Our operating surplus was favorable to budget for the 7th straight month. So our financial report out was very good. On the investment of funds summary, the performance remains strong through July on the investments. Capital reserve obligations remain covered, and the full year outlook remains strong. So with that, the Board of Trustees, there's a resolution to approve the July investment reports. And it came out of committee, and it's for us here, correct?
I think it's actually just approved in committee.
Okay, we approved it in committee. I thought we had to approve it here. We do not?
When it's really good, we like to talk about it, but we'd have to approve it here.
Okay. Well, it is good.
There you go.
But
Great. No. So, any other comments from everybody? No. Great. Thank you.
You don't have anything to say about
I don't.
hedging?
I didn't see all the details, so I got to get in there. Right? How far are we hedged out the second 12 month?
Second 12 months?
Yeah, out to 36 or whatever. Since Allison didn't want me to know.
8.
Oh, it's still on it. It's gone up since we had our meeting. Anyway, don't worry about it. I'll follow up, Larry. All right. Any questions for the finance team? No? Blake? Oh.
Months 13 through 24, 24%.
Yes. Okay.
Planning and ops.
But 88% for
Yeah, no, I heard it 88. There you go.
All right, planning and ops actually had its shortest meeting I think I've ever been a part of, which was spectacular. We started early, and it was because Sarah's committee really was the big star of the day. We do have 2 action items to consider on the consent agenda. I do want to say that we continue to have missed trips and some OTP challenges. But good news is that we have more operators, and we're headed in a positive direction there. And that's probably the key indicator for improvement in all those other stats. So super excited to see where that heads. The action items are both around maintenance, maintenance tech and software. The trapeze is a modification of our existing contract. And so good thing about that is it's getting the maintenance aspects in line with the other trapeze so that in 2 years we'll be able to consider those together. And then the Fleet Watch is all about fuels and lubricants and stuff that, Craig, you're particularly interested in. But not really hedging, just keeping track of them on the buses. And we should. So I would move that we approve both 332020 and 1262023.
Properly moved and seconded. Any questions or comments? Okay. Is this roll call, right? Yep.
Yes.
Miss Clark? She's
Not here. Yep.
Mr. Etheridge?
Yes.
Mr. Driehaus?
yes.
Mr. Hinton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris? Mr. Kissy?
Yes.
Say it again, please. You
Oh.
just asked me yes or no? Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Kissy?
Yes.
Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Ms. Sheets? Mr. Smith? Thank you.
All right, passed. I guess one question, not related, is, trapeze is going to come up in 2 years, and if we're not careful, we wait and sort of it's already a fait accompli. So I don't know if we're thinking about, I assume we're, okay.
It is time to review what software we use to run the organization, planning software. We're taking a holistic look
Okay.
at all of our software.
Good, thanks. All right, and now I guess the star of the show, you said?
No dancing.
Well, not till we give out the money, but there you go, right?
But one thing that Blake didn't say is that in his meeting, Plan and Operations, there was so much good news, and so if anybody hadn't looked at the report from the committee meeting, please go back and look at that. And there was a trip to Kings Island this weekend that I'm hoping that everybody who participated enjoyed. So by the time we got to Infrastructure, Bike, and Right-of-Way Committee, we were all giddy and happy to keep the good news going. So this is also a great opportunity to hear about the projects that we have funded so far. And we're going to start with a review of those round 1 and round 2 projects so we can see the impact that these funds have made so far throughout the county. So, Aled?
Thank you, Sarah, and good afternoon, everybody. As you heard from Sarah, board member, that one of the presentations we showed last week was the progress from especially year 1 of the awards from 2021, where we're going to show sample of these projects, the before, pictures of the before, and then the after, and the improvements that took place to these infrastructures using primarily our funds that we provided. Next slide, please. All right. So this is the Addiston. I'm going to go through these fairly quickly because there's quite a few of them. So this is the Main Street in Addiston. Next slide. This is the before. The picture on the left in all the slides is the before, obviously, and then the one on the right is after. No comparison between the two, the improvements. Next. Again, this is in Addiston. Next. Village, Lincoln Heights Village, the Wabash Avenue. Next slide. Again, it's not only the asphalt, resurfacing, but also at the intersection you have pedestrian crossings. You have the all the lines there, so it provides a safer environment for pedestrians as well as for vehicles. Next. Again, improved sidewalks, curbs, resurfacing the lanes. Next. River Road in Cincinnati. Next. This is a critical project. I mean, it's multi-lane thing on both sides of that big island there. But you can see the improvement, and then the next slide is also part of that. Next. Next. Montgomery sidewalks in Sycamore Township. Next. Again, I mean, you can see the major improvement to the sidewalks, pedestrian safety. Next. Same thing, better curbs, sidewalks. Next. 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 This is Anderson Township. Again, I mean, you can see the previous condition on how it is right now. Next. Greenwell Avenue in Delhi Township. Next. I mean, look at the beauty of the sidewalks. I mean, it helps get people to our bus stops, but also provides walkable communities. I mean, that's good for the community. Next. And not forgetting, ADA accommodations, right? Ramps for wheelchairs and strollers and so on. Next. I just love these pictures, especially the sidewalks. I mean, yeah. Next. Mount Healthy, Compton Road. Next. Again, you can see, how it used to be on the left, and again, I mean, great improvements. Next. Same thing here, pedestrian crossings, intersections, and so on, adding safety. Next. This particular picture is of great importance. Walid is not here. So you can see the picture on the left is before, and the one on the right is after. And not only the streets, were redone and improved, but the owner of that house at the corner, after the infrastructure project was done, they repainted their home, which tells us that people are taking pride in these projects. They see the value that their property's value is increasing or it's improving, and you can see the house has been painted since that project. Next. Again, it's not only about resurfacing, but pedestrian safety as well here at the crossing. Next. Springfield Township, Galbraith Road, that's one of the major projects that has been undertaken. Next. Multi-lane improvements, adding curbs, and improving the roadway for everybody. Next. 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 And I think that's it.
Thank you.
Thank
It's really
you.
amazing. Does anybody have any questions about any specific projects?
Have you done this presentation for the county or the city at all? Or mostly the county?
We are,
I think it would be an opportunity for us.
we are scheduling meetings right now with the county to go over this with the county, as well as at the city, with council.
I think it needs to be at the board meeting for them to come to the public record.
Yes.
The other thing, I strongly suggest that in all projects, somewhere that sign is there so that you know where they're at. You know that's the Galvin Road project. We need to have that sign pictured in all of this.
Yes, and that sign, actually, it's in their contract. When they get the award, it's in their contract that you have to provide a 4x8 signs.
Great job.
Yeah. Yeah,
And then
thank
I
you.
wondered if the presentation is easily accessible on our website, if there were taxpayers who wanted to go and see what we've funded.
Not
that'd be
yet,
easy.
but this is yeah.
We
would
wanted
definitely-
to make sure that the board saw it
Oh, right,
before we,
yeah.
but yes.
Yep.
So the plan was to have the board, and we've actually already talked to both the county and the city, asking them to be able to come and make presentations at their meetings. But we wanted to make sure that the board saw it first. Yes,
Do that because I think we should be in the audience.
definitely.
Okay.
So I do have one question. So this is great and awesome. I feel like we haven't sent that much money out to have this many projects finished. So are they requesting the money on time? I can't, like, these feel like they're finished, but we haven't funded them yet. Does that make sense?
No, they've
That'd be
been
an accurate statement. The municipalities have gone full speed ahead with actually constructing it, but the actual request for reimbursement has been extremely modest. I'm pulling from memory, Khalid, a couple $100,000.
Oh, no. So first of all, we don't give money up front. So they have to complete the work and then, ask for reimbursement. Actually, this week, the past 4 or 5 days, I've approved probably close to $1 million of.
So starting to catch up.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think that by the previous month, we had given like 2 point some to close to $3 million.
Okay.
So now it's starting to trickle in.
Yeah, 10, okay. All right, it just feels a little slow, the requests, but as long as we're keeping up with anything we get, that's great.
It's catching up. Yeah. Thank you.
Keep
I can
making money
speak,
on that interest.
sorry. I can speak anecdotally about it. We had a meeting last night in Wyoming, and this subject came up. We brought it up, but the county was also present, and they talked about these funds and how much they appreciate these funds and how the local entities are seeking out the matching funds. It's absolutely a growing subject, I think, in these communities. So I think the demand or the requests are just going to continue to go up, which is great. And the sign in our neighborhood was prominently displayed, and it was very clear that it was a SORTA project. So it was very good. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Dan. And we do hear the same thing from the other townships and municipalities, how grateful they are for this program, and that they've seen great benefits from these projects. So, yeah.
And Craig, the only other thing to add, to the extent that there is any what I'll describe as delays in the timing of actual reimbursements. The funds remain in our investment portfolio, which do contribute to the opportunity to award additional dollars for the next round of projects.
Yeah, no, it's great. As long as we're not the one being slow in the process, right? So awesome.
Thank you.
Great. Yeah, good job. Okay, moving on. We have, in this next round, we received 38 applications from 20 municipalities, and in total, they requested $46 million. And we're here today to hear about recommendations to fund 29 projects in 20 jurisdictions, totaling about $28 million. So, I'll turn it back over. Are you gonna you're gonna run through the presentation? Oh. This one? Or do I run through it? This is not-
Whoever's comfortable leading it, I would say.
Aled, it's your presentation. Yeah. Or
All right, great.
Welcome back.
Great. So yeah, next slide. So these are all the projects that we've received, as you heard from board member Sarah, totaling $46.5 million. That's the total ask. The total construction cost of these is $82 million. Next slide.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
Before we move on. Never mind. I was looking at it wrong.
Sure. And these are the municipalities or jurisdictions that submitted an applications. Obviously, some of them submitted more than one. Next slide. This map shows all the jurisdictions who did submit this year on round 3. About 20 of them. So this is really great. And then the next slide shows all the jurisdictions that have either submitted year 1, 2, or 3. So we've almost covered the entire county. And if you recall, in round 1 and 2, every application was awarded money. So pretty much most of these have received money for at least a project or more.
They were all awarded in round 1, but not all projects were funded in round 2.
Thank you for that correction. You're right. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes.
So we're very proud that this program has worked extremely well, providing funds for critical infrastructure projects across the entire county. Next slide. This table shows the projects that will receive funding based on the available funding this year. The projects in green are recommended to receive awards in the amounts listed under funding requested column. One project was withdrawn by the county, by Hamilton County, which is the Compton Road. And Madeira project, Laurel Avenue, will receive partial funding as the rest of the funding was depleted. So total amount of awards for round 3 is $27,861,563. Next line.
Khaled.
Through the one on Compton, because I mean, there's stuff all over.
They said that they would not have matching funds for it, yes, because they were requesting $3 million, and they were not going to have enough money to do that project.
Khaled, could you talk about the weighted scoring and the metrics, the percentage that is requested, like say 50% as compared to 80%, 100%? How much does that affect our metrics when jurisdictions are applying?
Are you talking about the project's request or the cap, the 50%
Just
cap?
the right-hand column, if the total cost, for example, is 1.2 million and they request 600, right? So 50% of it. How does that help them on the weighted score versus if they request 100? And how do we interact with the jurisdictions to help them make sure that their score might succeed? Because I could see this being a increasingly important column going forward. as people compete for these dollars?
Yes. So in the guidelines, there is a criterion in terms of the matching funds or requested funds. I don't know what the scores are by heart or the scale, but for that particular criterion, if you're asking, well, the maximum by the guidelines, which the board approved, the maximum we can award is 90% of the construction cost. 90% is the maximum that we can award. But then, based on the match they're bringing to the table, if they're requesting whatever that scale is, the lower the percentage they're asking for, they score higher. So that's taken into consideration. Now, we do every year, just before we announce the call for projects, we do have a community call with all the jurisdictions, conference call, and we go over the guidelines and the criteria. We explain things to them, and we answer questions if they have any. That's the typical process we go through.
Okay.
And the 90% does not include planning costs, engineering costs, property acquisition, or any of that. We only fund construction cost.
I think the other thing on this page to be aware of is, right, that we modified the rules last year to say that no jurisdiction within the county could get more than 50% of the funding. That's why some of the city projects at the bottom have higher scores than the ones that got funding, because they'd reached the maximum. This was designed to make sure that that money was spread across the county and to give everybody a shot, right? And obviously the Western Hills Viaduct project takes a lot of the city's funding.
Yep.
And I'll speak up on behalf of Pete Metz here. In the committee, Pete mentioned that that's quite a chunk out of the city allotment, and he wondered aloud if the county and the city could share in some of that allotment, because that's going to be an ongoing chunk that reduces the opportunity for the city projects.
So we have the opportunity every year to go back and relook at the criteria and make adjustments, and then bring that recommendation back to the board so the board can approve any adjustments in the criteria. We'll take a look at that and bring something back to this board.
And I appreciate Pete's comments as a public citizen. I think it's not our job on the board to say how people should allocate their requests, right? So I think that'll happen outside.
Understood.
Okay. But even with the extra, like it's $6 million of extra projects for the city too, it's not like nothing's being.
Yep, they got
It's
6.8 million.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's just important that they know how they're being capped,
Yep.
right? And up to date on how they're being capped and how they can go after these funds. Like we mentioned, one that was not accepted was a Kirk Development Corporation, and the way that they submitted wasn't through the city channel. It was independent of that. So
Was that the College Hill project?
they'll reconfigure how they probably request that in the future. So next year they might take a different bite at it. So
Yep.
that's all.
No, it's important for folks to know the rules, and we keep looking at them to do the right thing. And it's, it's interesting. Gwen, I know we had a lot of talks about this, right? Hey, all the money's going to go to just a couple neighborhoods, and everybody else is going to get left out, and we didn't want that to happen. And so it's within our authority, right, to make changes to the program, not to last year, but to next year, right?
Yeah, on that note, I was kind of wondering if, the match requirement puts some lower income communities at a disadvantage if they don't have the match. And I don't know where the municipalities get their source of their match. But, looking at the list, it looks like we've been able to support a wide range of communities. And I'm just curious if it does put those communities at a disadvantage.
So one of the positives is sales tax is local dollars, so they can actually leverage the grant dollars here to apply for federal grants. So, whenever you apply for a federal grant, you have to have a local match.
Okay.
Our dollars, our TIF dollars, can be used as the local match to leverage against federal dollars. So it actually works just the opposite.
Okay.
By applying for these, it gives them the opportunity to apply for federal dollars, because this can be their local match for the federal dollars.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and there was a lot of discussion about this early on, right? And it's sort of that, if you have no skin in the game, are you invested in it? Is it, did you get flooded with requests if it's just, all money from you all, not from us? So, but it's worthwhile. So at the end of the process here, once the integrating committee has approved, we'll come back, the consultants, and for all of us to talk about, hey, based on how it's going, are there things we would like to re-examine? And I think it's good discussion.
Okay, thank you. So we have a resolution to approve. This resolution would approve the award of grant funds of $27,861,563 to fund the projects as shown tonight, and we would then forward this recommendation to the integrating committee. I guess I can make a motion to make that happen. So I'll move. Thank you.
Properly moved and seconded. Does anybody have any questions, comments? So this presumes the change in the Western Hills Viaduct?
Yes.
I thought I turned it. This presumes 15-year, not 20 or not 25 for Western Hills. So I think it's important that everybody understands that is happening sort of within the normal process, I'll say. But so the original request from the city that came from the city, which is why the city is getting charged the 50% to them, was for funding over 25 years. As we had a lot of discussion about whether that was the right request. They've realized later, hey, if it over 25 years, that cost me more money in interest. So could we do it faster? So without sort of being a new project, right, the request is that we shorten same amount of money that we awarded originally, but done over 15 years versus 25, right? So a bigger chunk of this year's will come out than came out over the previous 2 years. So it's gone from 8 to
14.
14.5.
So I didn't want people to feel like that wasn't discussed. But so that assumes 15-year to fund the 205 for the Western Hills Viaduct, 15 off the total we had leaves you with is 27, right?
And next month, when we bring the contracts back to the board will approve the adjustment to Western Hills Viaduct when we reapprove the contracts next month.
Clear as mud? Okay. Any other questions or comment?
And just for the new members, we do have a committee that reviews, so it's an independent, it's not staff making that final decision.
Yes.
And you should, if you haven't, and I apologize if we didn't share the criteria used to score these. I thought we did, but we should get that back out so you understand what it is. It's a fairly exhaustive document.
The only advantage we have, we can tweak it as needed. If we determine that it does discriminate or doesn't do the full job that we intended to do, we can tweak it.
Just as a point of order, I think there are a few of us that are elected officials in these jurisdictions that are getting approved funds. Should we abstain from the vote if that's the case?
Good question.
Yeah. So I'll abstain on this vote anyway. Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah. We're still good.
Yeah.
Ms. Spairdon?
Yes.
Mr. Etheridge?
Yes.
Mr. Hinton?
Yes.
Mr. Harris?
Yes.
Mr. Kissy?
Yes, enthusiastically.
Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Ms. Sheets?
Yes.
And Mr. Smith?
Yes.
All right, there you go. Handing out money. That's right. It is great and get a lot of good feedback about it. Larry?
Okay. Turning our attention briefly to the statement of operations based on July results. Looking specifically at page 4. You can see the chart here is a 3-month running average here that shows our fair revenue divided into 3 sources. You'll see in the month of July there was a slight dip in fair revenue, which is traced back down to the number of weekdays in the month, in addition to the fact that there was one holiday in the month, which depressed our fair revenue results. But other than that, very strong for the month. Going to page 5. Major thing, takeaway here, looking at the other bucket in the far red at 1187 for the month, in contrast to the previous month at 1569, which is down $382,000. Key driver there is a reclass of BRT expenses that we determined to be capitalizable. And so we made a course correction in the month of July to accommodate that. Looking at the page 6. Total revenue for the month came in at $18.4 million, which is favorable to budget. $1.3 million. Total expense at $11.7 million, which is favorable to budget, $787,000, leading to a surplus of $6.7 million, which is favorable to budget, $2.1 million. And we note that ridership came in just slightly under 1 million at 966,000 rides. Specific components of revenue: total fares at $1 million, favorable to budget, $114,000. County sales tax, again, continues to rebound very nicely, came in at $10.6 million, which is favorable to budget, $606,000. And our federal grants at $5.8 million are essentially on budget. In terms of expenses for the month of July, wages and benefits came in at $9.2 million, which is on budget. Fuel and lubricants at $572,000, slightly favorable to budget, $75,000. And in the all other bucket at $1.2 million, which is favorable to budget, $627,000. And then the last comment I'd like to share with the group, we can turn to page 8. Page 8. Thank you. This is a summary of our operating revenue and our non-operating revenue and our expenses as divided between Q1, Q2, and the out months, charting July through the month of December for this year. Drawing the board's attention to the month of September, we'll see that the ARP-1 and ARP-2 grants are queued up for $2.1 million and $5.2 million respectively. And then starting in the month of October through the balance of the year, we have effectively obtained all of the revenue associated with those 2 grants. And so the practical impact there is to trace down to the bottom line. We'll see from a budget standpoint, our operating surplus, which in this case deficit, turns in the month of October to $719,000, and in the month of October budgeted at $103,000 in the red. Realistically, as we think about the practical implications here and how the agency has been obtaining revenue over the past 7 months, we do expect sales tax to continue to be favorable. We do expect investment income continue to be favorable to budget. And we also expect expenses in the aggregate to be favorable to budget. Those 3 categories will, in my opinion, put us in the black in the months of October and November. So just wanted to share that with the committee. And that concludes my report.
Thanks, Larry. We knew that was coming, right? That eventually the gravy train, to some extent, was going to be gone, and that's why we need to make sure we take those funds where we had those surpluses and have them set aside for good use going forward. So I appreciate the excellent management of our cash and those funds, and so preparing us well going forward, but we do have to be careful spending in a way that we haven't probably had to be the last few months. Yep.
What's the empowerment fund?
The Empowerment Fund is another way to think of the Everybody Rides Metro program, okay, where the agency sets aside $42,000 on a monthly basis, which cumulates to $500,000 for the year to fund that program.
So that's discounted or free bus fares for folks. Yep.
Nonprofit, like CAAs, again, with really client services.
To support.
If in fact our budget decreases, we decrease that fund, that's
Well,
what-
it's within our
Not allowed
authority.
to touch it. Okay.
We can't take the money that's already there, and we wouldn't do it during the school.
saying
But
if our budget has to change, do we change that amount?
it's
Up to you.
That figure does not change on a monthly basis. It does
No,
not.
no, no, I'm saying for the year, as you're preparing your budget and you're projecting it out, if you feel that we need to reduce in any area, would that be an area?
we'd have to do a resolution about it.
Yeah, and essentially that's an annual decision of this board.
Yeah.
That investment is made 1 year at a time. at the discretion of this board in terms of budget review and budget approval.
Yeah.
So this money goes to support 501c3s. We reimburse the bus passes that they purchase from us for low-income people to get to jobs, education, healthcare, and social services.
Are those funds being used at the tune of $500,000 a year?
It started off slow, but we are there.
Yes.
One reason I ask is that means we would be doing failure to promote that, right?
Yeah, no. So it's really coming on. They have a breakfast coming up.
Yep, in September.
Yeah, I can't remember what day it was, but there's I think y'all got, you're going to hear more about it from Daryl in just a minute. Yeah, great. Okay.
I'd just like to thank everyone that came to our 50th birthday party. It was an absolute blast. There are lots of videos of Blake dancing on our website.
And available for sale. That's right. Yeah.
We had the Ohio Senator Catherine Ingram, the County Commissioner President Alicia Reese, and the Mayor Aftab Pureval joined us at the event. Each of them spoke and talked about the importance of transit in our region. Really good party. People came out, really supported what we're doing here in the organization. So I really want to thank the board and staff for all the hard work. Brandy, hats off to you and your team. It was an amazing. I want to remind you all, you have until September the 7th to go down to the library. There is a historical exhibit of Metro from 50 years ago up to today. Really nice. Also, if you haven't gotten your commemorative T-shirt from Black Owned, there is a commemorative T-shirt of all the influencers in town and lots of transit 50th anniversary stuff. That shirt is $35. $2 from every one of those T-shirts go to Everybody Rides Metro to help Everybody Rides Metro. It's a T-shirt. And it is.
Or people just grab it.
It is less expensive than the other T-shirts that they do there. They actually lowered the cost for us, as well as $2 goes to ERM. I am really happy to say that our event this weekend, getting all the employees together, to thank them for all the hard work, our picnic at Kings Island, 75% of the employees of the organization came to Kings Island to our event this weekend. And I think that speaks volumes about our employees understanding how important we are to the community and feeling the need for all of us to get together. John talked a little bit about back to school for CPS, but it's also back to school for both University of Cincinnati and Cincinnati State. And for the first month of them being back in school, rides are free to them. So we're encouraging all of the students at UC and all of the students at Cincinnati State to come out and use public transportation for their needs. Everybody Rides Metro is having an open house. It is on September 12th from 8:30 to 10:30 a.m. It is at the Westin Hotel Overlook. We will make sure that we send an invitation out to all of the board members. We would love to see you there. Our next career fair is on August 26th at 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Queensgate. And again, Blake said he is going to come out and drive one of the buses for that. We are also having a vendor diversity inclusion ice cream social. That event will take place on September the 15th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. at Queensgate. That is Metro on the Move.
Did you forget something at the top of that second page? You're just getting used to not mentioning these $14 million grants. They're just so commonplace.
I did go right over that, didn't I? We were awarded $14 million to replace 19 of our vehicles with hybrid vehicles. It is really important that we continue to look to the federal government to help fund some of the things that we have. I am happy to say that our fleet age is the best that it's been in probably 20 years, if not longer. The federal government continues to be a major important partner in what we do here. And I am happy to accept that $14 million for hybrid vehicles moving forward. Thank you, Blake.
All right. Any other questions for Daryl or otherwise? Any new business?
I had one more question. There's some proclamations over there on the desk. Did you want to mention that?
Yeah, thank you. I am so used to you doing most of this in your report. The proclamations that the state, the city, and the county gave us on our 50th birthday. Thank you, Blake. They're over on the table. And if you guys would like to see those proclamations, we set them up over there. It was an amazing event on our birthday, and we were really proud to have all of those who came and spoke so highly of what we are doing here in the region. All three of those proclamations are over on the table. Thank you, Blake.
You have to realize that, in my time on the board, I'm gonna say, my time. I'm gonna say the different leadership. We are really, truly respected, and it's because you took Metro, SORTA, whatever you want to call it today, and you gave it to the community. You took it out there. You went out there where the people are. And that hasn't happened. It was almost like you come to us, and we'll provide the service. You took the service to the community. And my phone doesn't ring like it used to ring. But when I do get a call or even get stopped, they say, hey, Gwen, things picked up really well. So they're feeling good about it. I think that's all for you and the leadership the team you put together. So thank you all.
Thank you. And I would like to acknowledge the leadership team at Metro. Couldn't do anything without them or the leadership from them.
Take a bow or something over there. Well, great. Happy to, any more new business? No? All right. Thanks, everybody.